What's your message to everyone?
Invest early.
Okay, invest early. So to the student who said that is it okay to put 8,000 pesos in your investment as a student? Yes, the best time to invest is now. Invest as early as you can because it builds your skills and it will make you win. Hey guys, good evening. Just finished Stock Smarts, or at least the first 3 sessions of Stock Smarts in Manila. We will have the next batches December 8, 9, and 15, and we will end the year with the top 10 stocks for 2019, which will be on December 15. But this video is also a shout out for the next event, which will be this Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all in Singapore. So if you're from Singapore, I'd like to invite you to join us. Learn the rudiments of how you can trade and invest and win in the stock market using technicals and fundamentals, how you can select and time and find the best way to win in the stock market. So I'm using the next few minutes now kasi I'm waiting for my wife. We're gonna go out. But taking this time also to answer some questions that you might have would have sent out to me. Comment below if you have any questions as well. And now we have people joining us. You have Espulgar Kevin from Gensan, who's now working in Iloilo City. Then you have Rebecca Tangan. Good evening to all of you. So I got a lot of questions about CEMEX. Why it furthered its movement down. It's partly because also of it shutting its cement terminal in Davao and it laying off some workers. So please remember, a few months ago, CEMEX already released data that it was losing money, and this additional news item will further push a more negative sentiment, because if you're losing money, then you're closing down the plant and you're losing workers. It adds a negative sentiment. It doesn't send the right impression. In a way though, it will lessen their expenses, but it also means that shutting a plant means that the output that they have is relatively less as well. From a tech standpoint, CEMEX is also bearish and breaking down. So that's something very negative for investors of CEMEX. Poppy also will spend, Prime Orion will spend 1 billion for their Laguna warehouse. So if you've noticed, ever since Ayala started to step into Prime Orion, it's been very good for them. They've been more aggressive than where they were before. And then CLI, which is a battered stock but with amazing fundamentals, will now spend around 12.6 billion worth of projects in Davao City. So CLI is pretty much banking on the bullishness of how Davao will be. So they're very interesting. There are a lot of stocks that are still battered and are cheap that are producing amazing results as well. Rebecca Tangan want to ask about ISM and IMM. What's your exact question? Please give me specifics on what you're asking. But for ISM, I pretty much created a lot of posts about it already from a chart perspective. Please remember, it's moving because it's where it will shift. ISM will become Udena. Udena won third telco bid for Miss Latel. So with that also comes a lot of the sentiment that, hey, since Miss Latel won, Udena will be part of it. Now people are banking on that possibly Udena will win. So please remember, this is a trading. This is just still a trading buy. You're buying it because of the technicals. It really hasn't proven anything yet on the fundamental aspect. All we have still are the plans that were laid out. For those who watched the Bloomberg interview, after me was I think one of the lawyers of Udena, where he spoke on what they were planning to do, what their timeline is, and how the speeds that they were guaranteeing and the coverage that they would want to give over the next 5 years. So let's see if it happens. Please remember this: every company representative will always be bullish on their company. You rarely will see company insiders bearish on their own company as well. So that's something worth noting, guys. And then for IMI, please send me something more specific. San Quintas from Palawan, good evening to you as well. Paul Drilon from Qatar, what's your stand on current cryptocurrency sell-off right now? Please remember, no, what's her name? Paul Drilon. Pretty much blockchain as a whole is still on its early stages. The problem with cryptos is there are a lot of cryptos that over I think the far majority of cryptos, the more than 1,000 altcoins that are out there, probably 99% of those won't last. 99% of that won't have any usage. A lot of people won't use it as much. Then plus when it comes to trading also, it really won't have any it won't have a large market cap and liquidity because it's not one of the ones that's used as much. Blockchain as a whole though is still in its early stages. When I say it's in its early stages, it's like the internet in 1994. It's like social media in 2005 that it's new. We don't know if Bitcoin, Ethereum, Ripple will be Friendster, Multiply, and MySpace, or sila na, will they be the Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube that will take the social media platform by storm? So it's still early. My suggestion, if you want to invest in them, you want to trade them, you just deploy a specific amount na you're okay. Should it go lower, should it go to zero, you're okay with that specific amount that you are deploying as well. So ayun, that's my suggestion to all of you. Always put always put a specific amount that's there. So that's it. And if it goes to zero, if it goes down, you're willing to part with it. So if it becomes good, it pushes higher, it becomes, I guess, the next tier, the next frontier, good for you. But if it doesn't, hindi ka rin manghihinayang. So it's also about risk management as well. Next, Rodel Dabu. I just wanted to ask, what about PXP? Please remember, no, similar to a lot of the stocks that get talked about, PXP is moving or has moving either positive or negative because of whatever sentiment that's there with the deal that we will have with China, with the joint exploration in the South China Sea. But from a revenue perspective, they've been losing money for 5 years. So whatever you're seeing there, make sure you respect your technicals. If your technicals are not giving you any buy signals, you stay away. Should there be any buy signals that emerge, just respect it, buy from that. Then when it starts to reverse, make sure you sell. But as of this point in time, it's purely speculative. It's purely based on news. It's purely based on what it could be. But it's not really saying how good the company is, because the company has been losing money. Neil Berasin, I've answered ISM already. Grace Garcia, does inflation affect the stock market? It will affect the listed companies, because in some way, some of them, yung costs nila tataas. So some of them also, they will have to raise prices. Then matatamaan din yung consumers. So either consumers kasi nagmahal, they will either lessen their spending, or if they don't lessen their spending, either mas konti na lang yung mag-shift yung spending patterns ng mga tao. So net, there will be companies that will be winners when inflation is higher. There will be companies also that will be losers because sila yung spending will shift away from them naman. In terms of inflation going higher also, if you've noticed it, the BSP has started to raise interest rates. And the problem with raising interest rates is this: it makes the stock market less attractive. Why? Because I can just go and put my money on fixed income, and I can get a higher yielding interest rate and rid myself of risk. So you can expect also that when interest rates are higher, mangyayari doon people who have large amounts will just park their money there because they're getting a larger amount already. And then if it goes above 10%, but I think you can't get 10% of bonds in the past years, but now because of what's happening, because of higher interest rates, there will be a shift from equities to more fixed income assets as well. So next, good evening to you, Roman Solis. Who's this? Oro Lunod from Saudi Arabia, good evening. Christian Tan, when do you think IXM will bounce back to 7 pesos per 7 plus per share? Allow me to make a stocks by request video about that. No, I'll make that probably this week, it's just gonna be hectic again. Tomorrow, going to Santa Rosa. Then after that, when I get back, I'm gonna pack already because I have an early flight to Singapore. So I'll be there from Tuesday to Sunday. If you are there, let's do a video. Yeah, let's do a Facebook Live. Let's do videos. My favorite part there is always the Merlion and the Marina Bay Sands area. So that would be very, 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 very interesting as well. Mildred Miranda asking for PXP. I answered it already. VUL tried to do again, a lot of the telco stocks, at least telco related story stocks, sila yung natamaan eh. So majority of them are down in general because the story is over. They don't have a shot of being the third player. And the premise earlier this year was people were buying them because they have the shot. They have a narrative. There's a possibility that these companies could how do I put this, become the third player. But ngayon, wala na silang shot, wala na silang chance. That's why the stock is moving on a separate and downward direction as well. Shout out to Edward Bisinga. Hello to you from Tahanan Village. John Clashao, expected resistance for the PSE this week. John, please check the video I posted. It's both in YouTube and in Facebook. I posted there my thoughts on what the next resistances are, but the PSE just started to break out already from another resistance level, and I posted in that video that in spite of us breaking out, we really don't have yet a firm conviction if we are reversing. So there. Next, Patrick Reyes asking about IRC and MRC. Dennis Paderes from Pampanga, hello to you. Oliver Rosales, kumusta kay Neil Hermo? Oo nga eh, single pa siya, no? So, if you have a referral, Oliver, na pwedeng future sister-in-law, comment below and let's make love happen for my brother. Next, Franklin Gubok, Ninong. Hindi pa ako pwede mag-Ninong. Marvin, how do you view TEL in the long-term aspect? If you follow the past videos, I'm not bullish on TEL. Why? Because I keep saying this on the Stock Smart seminars that we produce. The fundamentals has already been showing that 2013 pa lang, PLDT was already a sell and it was still at 2,900, 3,000 plus at that point in time. So from that point in time, 2013, it started to degrade pa. So why am I saying this? It's not a good time to be an investor in PLDT unless you're okay with the 4%, 3% dividends that they're giving. If that's your narrative, 3%, 4% dividends are okay with you, then fine, stick with it. But if you are after growth, you won't see it in PLDT yet. At least there's no semblance yet of evidence that that it's getting better. Jefferson Quinton, hi curious coach lang ako sa CHB, 2 years na siyang bagsak. Jefferson, I just created a video about it also. Balikan mo yung first part ng video na to, why CHP is down. I just mentioned it at the start, no. Yon Sidro from Dubai. Gilbert, do you have cut loss on Bitcoin? So my style, no, even for cut loss for trading, is basically if it's wrong, I try to get out as early as possible. But if it's right, and if I'm in it for investing, I try to hold on to it as much as I can naman. So ganun lang yung style ko. So for Bitcoin, every time support levels are broken, it's an area for you to get out and stay away. So there. Daamo Benji, thoughts on Bloom? It's still bearish. Edward Bisinga, yes, but depending on what stock you want to buy, there's always an opportunity to make money. There's always an opportunity to find good stocks. You just have to match it on the risk, your timeline, and what are your parameters to actually buy and sell. So when's the best time to invest? Now is the best time to invest. What are you supposed to invest on? You need to find out what technical and fundamental parameters will work for you. But the best time to invest is while you're young because you develop as much assets. So if you're starting, okay lang, you develop the skill. You have to remember, investing is a skill. Investing is something that you grow and you become better as you keep doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it. So for a lot of people that when I talk about stocks by request, kala nila, oy, but ganun, but how does he analyze the stock so fast? Why? Because I've been doing it for years. Please remember, if you're doing something regularly, it becomes normal. It becomes part of how you do things. So if you know how to do it, and if you do it regularly, it becomes muscle reflex. Parang basketball, you don't have to train Steph Curry anymore to shoot a 3-point shot when the stakes are down the line, because he knows how to do it. He's been doing it over and over and over again. CJ Calapan, good evening from Macau. Gilbert, Gilbert, don't average down if you don't know what the fundamental value is, and that's the problem of Bitcoin right now. No one knows what the fundamental value. If ever you're just buying it, you're just hoping and betting on what it could be. If you want to own it, you better trade it. Next, Kenix Lomosco, hello. Jocelyn Jo, my MPI. I have so many videos about NPI, you know. Sir Marvin, as a student, is 8K starting investment in the stock market? Or yeah, 8K is good. I'd rather that you put that 8K, deploy it in investing than spend it buying stuff that won't have any value later on. Should you lose money from that 8K, okay lang, you build the experience eh. But as you build the experience, keep on adding more, whatever you get ngayon Christmas as a student, invest mo na. My biggest regret was buying stuff in high school and college that really didn't matter. So, yun lang, nanghinayang ako, but okay lang. Dapat hindi tayo manghinayang. We should maximize whatever opportunities that we have today, and we have to be grateful on the things that we have as well. So, Nina Susena, hello to you. From Singapore, Rodel Dabu, good evening. Alice Prime for breakout. Oh, yes. Richard Pacquiao, we've talked about this in Stock Smarts Manila, no? That Ali is currently breaking out. It broke out from a resistance last Friday. It broke out from a very, very strong moving average as well. So interesting to see. If it stays above those levels, you can willingly hold on to it because it can even be positioned into greater heights as well. Good evening, Sir Marvin. Do you think the PSE will break to the 6.8 level or go back to 6.8? What I know is this, kaka-break out na niya from its current resistance. Why it's going up? Because it started to bounce from the 6.8 level. Tanong ni Manuel Rigor yun. Lionel Canlas, good evening, Sir Marvin. Do you think the PSE will break 70,300 this week? It's breaking out, no? It's breaking out. If you watch it and you're using moving average, there's a moving average just above it. Check my video in YouTube about that as well. I placed the chart there. Chiri, hello to you. Kenix Lomosco. For Kenix, on the tradable range for Mega World is 4 to 5. I've talked about this. You can check the Bloomberg video that it broke out from 4.5. If 4.5 will hold, Mega World will go to 5. Do you have any investment aside from the stock market? Oh naman! Your goal, guys, is to stockpile investments as assets because it will allow you to those assets will work for you when you can no longer work hard for yourself. So I like bonds, I like REITs, I like ETFs, I like gold, I like being an entrepreneur, I like creating intellectual assets as well. So build as much assets as you can. But for me, the stock market is my favorite, but it doesn't mean everything is there. Oil price in the market is going down. Is there an effect on other companies? Yes, it's good because inflation will go down. If oil prices are low, also it will make the costs of other companies lower. Hence, their bottom line will also be lower. Sir Marvin, your question about Mega World, tanong ni Kenneth Lumosco. Amor Leo, Roman Solis, good evening. I am asking about IMI. Guys, I have to go now already, but thank you so much. I'll check most of your questions and then I'll try to create another question and answer again. We have to go to a certain place with my wife tonight, and then I still have to prepare for my talk. Thank you so much for joining me again in this very short Facebook Live session, but I do hope that this is something that adds value to you, because the goal of this, the goal of why I do what I do is just really to create value for all of you, because I want you to win, I want you to earn, I want you that you don't just invest just because failure na hype or become emotional, but you use whatever principles you get here to make you win. Ayan na, sinusundo na ako ng wife ko. Say hello. Are you sundoing me?
Yes, let's go.
Okay, so final message to everyone. Are you even in the screen?
No.
You're not? You're not in the screen? Ayan, message to everyone. Say, what's your message to everyone?
Invest early.
Okay, invest early. So, to the student who said that is it okay to put 8,000 pesos in your investment as a student? Yes, the best time to invest is now. Invest as early as you can because it builds your skills and it will make you win. So that's it for now. If you're from Santa Rosa, I hope to see you tomorrow. If you're not from Santa Rosa, you're from Singapore, I hope to see you this week. Link is below on how you can join us for Stock Smart Singapore. So I hope this video helps you trade well, trade strong, trade smart. Marvin Germo, back in Manila. See you all again soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.